So during disasters, we always are providing, some standard resources such as RxOpen. RxOpen, found at rxopen.org, is a map of pharmacies that essentially shows what pharmacies are open and what pharmacies are closed during a disaster, so that patients who need, critical access to their medication or that pharmacy care, whether it be testing at a time like now, pharmacies are able to provide testing in some areas. Essentially, basically allows patients to find that pharmacy, check the status very easily, and receive the care that they need. This is the first time where we've actually activated RxOpen for the entire country, all states and territories. Of course, usually we'll have, a hurricane in one area, maybe an overlapping disaster happening in another area, but this is the first time where all states are, impacted by one disaster. And so we have, the states are all activated for RxOpen. We have Map Your Meds, which is a really great resource that helps point people to what is happening in their state when it comes to prescription refill laws. The insurance waivers, the prescription refill waivers that allow them to have better access to their care and their prescription medications. And all of these can actually be found on our COVID-19 resource site. And so you'll see we have healthcareready.org/COVID-19. If you go there, you can find all these resources and many more. And we link to several resources from our partners that have, direct support to those with specific chronic conditions. We have FAQs, the one highlighted above, the pharmacy and patient FAQ. You can also find on the Healthcare Ready COVID-19 resource site. And that FAQ really walks through, how these emergency refills work. So when you're able to access the Map Your Meds site, you're able to understand what's happening there and what that means and how that can help you. We walk through some of the considerations for telehealth and how that works, how to access testing for COVID-19, and some of those considerations. And just more of a breakdown of the COVID-19 patient side. Again, there's prescription resources. There's, we link to the CDC and the public health guidelines on what's happening and how to protect yourself during COVID-19. Of course, this response is developing as the science is developing. So it's very critical that people go to trusted sources of information. They go to public health agencies and they don't just rely on social media where things and messages might get confused. It might be changing so rapidly that messages are mixed up, but essentially kind of going to those basically the trusted public health sources. And so we do what we can to make sure that those are amplified on our site as well. We have an FAQ, again, on pharmacy refills discussed earlier. And so you can find this, again, on the healthcareready.org/resources page. And a lot of our resources are found on several different pages, essentially to make sure that everything is available. So no matter where you end up on our site, you're able to kind of make a few clicks and end up with something that's helpful. Once again, Map Your Meds. We're highlighting here what it looks like if you click on the state of Maryland. Essentially, it shows you, the emergency refill, how many days of medication you can get with an emergency refill according to Maryland's laws that have been relaxed during COVID-19, whether or not insurance companies are required to support and cover emergency refills, and the Medicaid and Medicare, those kind of programs, how they're adjusting their policies as well to provide better support during COVID.